Hi, everyone. This is Paul Garrard. I'm founder and president of PGPresents, an independent student loan consulting company. We've put together a series of repayment modules designed to help you guys do a better job of managing your student loans. Module number 8 is on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program that we call PSLF. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program was actually passed into law back in 2007, and it's designed to encourage borrowers to work in the public or nonprofit sector for at least 10 years with the promise by the federal government to forgive any remaining federal student loan debt tax-free at that time, simply meaning that the amount forgiven does not have to be claimed as taxable income. That's the huge benefit of this program. You obviously have to meet certain requirements in order to qualify for PSLF. We're going to get into those on the next slide. But please note that PSLF eligibility has absolutely nothing to do with your degree or your specialty. Someone who's going into anesthesiology or urology or surgery can qualify just as easily as someone who's going into primary care, as long as you meet the eligibility requirements. Now, in order to qualify for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, 3 things have to happen. And folks, I cannot emphasize this enough. These 3 things have to happen at the same time in order for you to qualify for Public Service Loan Forgiveness. Number 1, you have to make 120 timely scheduled payments with an eligible plan. Let's break this down. The 120 payments do not have to be consecutive, but if they are, that's where you get the reference to this being a 10-year program. The payments have to be scheduled, simply meaning you can't accelerate the time period and qualify any earlier than 10 years, and voluntary payments, such as payments made during forbearance, do not qualify. An eligible plan is an income-driven repayment plan like pay-as-you-earn or revised pay-as-you-earn. So number 1, 120 timely scheduled payments with an eligible plan on eligible loans. The only debt the government can forgive are loans that they made. If your loan says direct in front of it, direct unsubsidized, direct plus, direct consolidation, it qualifies. If it doesn't say direct in front of it, it is not eligible. We have a separate module on consolidation where we talk about how you can take eligible non-direct federal loans and consolidate them into the direct loan program so that their balance will qualify for PSLF. So 120 timely scheduled payments with an eligible plan on eligible loans while you're working full-time for an eligible nonprofit public service employer. And you may already know that well over 90% of the teaching hospitals where you do your training and residency and fellowship programs qualify as eligible public service employers. So how do you apply for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program? Well, first of all, a reminder, you don't actually apply for PSLF until you have made all 120 eligible payments, but you can enroll in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. First of all, you want to be sure that all of your federal loans are in the direct loan program. We mentioned this earlier. In all likelihood, your entire student loan portfolio is already in the direct loan program because since the 2010-11 academic year, all the federal loans have been made directly by the federal government. And if you have any older federal loans that are not in the direct loan program, you can consolidate them into the direct loan program and switch their balance so that now they become eligible. Also, start making payments while you're in your residency program with one of the income plans, probably pay or repay. Once again, we have a separate module on pay and repay. And then number 3, submit the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Employment Certification Form every single year to Fed Loan Servicing, regardless of who your loan servicer is. Fed Loan Servicing is the only loan servicer under contract with the U.S. Department of Education to do 2 very important things for borrowers interested in public service. Number 1, they will confirm that where you are working, in your case your teaching hospital, is in fact a PSLF eligible employer. And then if that is the case, they will track payments that you make toward the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Once again, we have a separate module on how to actually enroll in PSLF, but one thing to note is when you do the employment certification form, if Fed Loan Servicing is already your loan servicer, they are simply going to confirm that your employer is eligible or considered an eligible employer for PSLF, and you'll continue making your payments or start making your payments to Fed Loan Servicing. If Fed Loan Servicing is not your loan servicer, you still submit the form to them after they confirm that your employer, your teaching hospital, is an eligible PSLF employer. They will take over the servicing of your loans. In other words, they will pick up the loans from your current loan servicer and put them on their own servicing system, and you will then make payments to Fed Loan Servicing so they can track them towards eligibility for PSLF. Now, in terms of a repayment strategy that's at least initially based on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, many of the medical school graduates we work with preserve the option for using PSLF if after training they land in the public nonprofit sector. And the way they do that is simply by making payments with an income plan on their direct loans while they are in training. Remember, the decision about actually using PSLF to retire your debt is likely going to come toward the end of training when you know whether or not you're going to land in the public nonprofit sector or in the private sector. Remember that aggressive payment is not consistent with PSLF. If PSLF is on the table for you as a repayment strategy, it doesn't make a lot of sense to aggressively pay because you would be paying down the potential forgiveness amount with PSLF. Also, a reminder that the forgiveness amount with PSLF is tax-free. You do not have to claim it as taxable income. We try and keep a current statement on PSLF on our homepage, PGPresents.com, where we not only address the eligibility requirements, but we talk about the proposals to eliminate the program, none of which have passed and all of which have been for first-time borrowers only. We cannot promise that there will be no changes to the program, and we certainly cannot promise that any changes made to the program would not impact you. But in all likelihood, any changes to PSLF would impact first-time borrowers only, and you would be grandfathered into the current provisions. In other words, folks who are already borrowing and already in repayment, we do not think would be impacted by changes to the PSLF program. The past 2 years have seen a high percentage of the applications that have come in for PSLF denied. 99% of the applications denied the past 2 years. On the next slide, we're going to take a look at exactly why that happened. Now, you may have heard or read in the news recently about the high percentage of denials for borrowers trying to get their debt retired through the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. Do the math in your head. The program passed into law in 2007, so the first batch of applications came in 2017, and another batch came in 2018, and in both cases, 99% of the applications were denied. But take a close look at why they were denied. The information you're looking at here is from the U.S. Department of Education, who runs the program. This is on their public website, and this is from June 2019 program data. 55%, guys, over half of the denials were because borrowers were in the wrong repayment plan. They were in a 25-year level repayment plan. I have no idea what kind of counseling, if any, they got, but they were in the wrong plan. And you already know the only kind of plans that qualify for PSLF are income-driven repayment plans like Pay and Repay. 24% had missing information in their applications, and 15% had the wrong kind of loans. They were trying to get their debt retired on loans the government did not even make. A smaller percentage had the wrong employment dates and the wrong employment type. My point in showing you this slide is that you know exactly how to qualify for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, and you're way too smart to send in an application for PSLF until you already knew that you had been approved or were ready for approval. And you're going to do that by enrolling in the program and tracking your payments every single year. So the point here is, yes, the percentage of denials was high, and yes, that's an accurate percentage, but that paints the wrong kind of picture for borrowers who know exactly how to qualify for PSLF. Now, in terms of some resources that may help you with questions about PSLF, you can check out the federal government's website at studentaid.gov/public service. They have some Q&As on the PSLF program, and that is where you can download the employment certification form that lets you enroll in PSLF. And as we've already mentioned, our homepage, PGPresents.com, we always try and keep a current statement on the status of PSLF. This is the end of module number 8.